How you doing, gardeners? It's Ed and Delia with Fresh Picked Acres of Kansas. Today, I'm going to do this short video on what we use to actually fertilize our young seedlings in the chamber and before we really get them on the field. So let's take a look at it. Now, what Delia uses is a simple 2-gallon watering tray or bucket. You know, you've seen these, got little flowers on them or spigot on the end. This holds 2 gallons of water. She measured that. You need to measure yours. Find out how much water it holds. You know, if it holds 1 gallon, it holds 1 gallon. The second thing you need is a weigh scale. Now, this one does not weigh in grams, although I wish it did, but it does weigh in ounces. So, the product we use, we are a non-organic farm. We are a conventional farm. If you want to use, you know, your fish oil and emulsion and want to use blood meal and bone meal and meat and bone meal, whatever you want, that's fine. But for those of you who do not mind using commercial fertilizer, this is what we use. This is by Plant Marvel. You know, Nutriculture spoon feeding soluble fertilizer. It is a 12-45-10 plus in addition to it, and you can go online and look at it, but it's got 12% ammonium nitrate, nitrogen, 3% nitrate nitrogen. It has soluble potash, it has boron, it has copper, it has iron, manganese, molybdenum, zinc, and I can't really, there's quite a bit on the very bottom, 0.05% from soluble zinc, and it adds it all in there. Okay, it's that simple. We're using Plant Marvel Super Start 12-45-10, and we go with a rate of 1 ounce per gallon of water. Now, and then if you're doing daily watering, you can go ahead and back this up to 1 ounce per 2 gallons. You're giving about a ½ ounce. But look at the results of how fast all of these are really taking off. Now, we don't put any fertilizer in the water until we get true leaves. I want to make sure and usually that's a good time. You're going to also be transplanting your plants to a larger pot. Good chance of it. I'm not saying that's exactly the way you got to do it, but that's good ballpark. But when you first transplant, you know, getting your true leaves, there's no real reason to take a plant that doesn't. This is a red night pepper plant. There's no reason yet to give it any fertilizer. There's enough in the seed right there to take care of the plant at this stage. It just needs a little moisture, and that's it. But once it starts popping out those secondary leaves, they call them true leaves, now it's time to go ahead and start the fertilizer. Now sunshine and all that becomes more important. We want to make them leaves. We want to encourage that good root stock to grow. And if you look here, our potash and phosphorus, got to make sure we have that in there. Kind of a lower nitrogen, but we want to encourage that potash, okay? So, and if you're doing water, it also tells you, you know, pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. So you could also think about how you're going to do it. So it tells you exactly how to do this Super Start. When transplanting our plants, we'll actually turn around and also use this, where we'll actually put the plug in, the plug of the tray, and then we'll actually drench it with some of this Super Start. We'll actually have that drenched in there. That gives the plants where it'll help suck the roots right in. We actually have a bigger water tank where you can just turn on the water and it'll just fill it up. Well, when that water goes in, it pulls them roots into the dirt, and you just pull the roots around it. It makes it, you know, the strawberry guys do that all the time. Anybody using one of those in-furrow type of rosa water wheels where they're actually planting behind a tank of water, that's how they're doing it. But that's how we do ours as far as if you want to give your plants the best possible the best possible start. We use the Plant Marvel Super Start Nordiculture 12-45-10. Just you start it when you have the plants starting to go with true leaves, and definitely good to give it to them at least once a week, or go at a half a rate to where you give them a little bit at each time. Right now we have that cold wind, so we're not putting them in the high tunnel right now. I'm not as much of a fan of our grow lights as probably many of you are. I just don't know enough about it. I know we got a variety of grow lights, and none of them seem to make the plants as happy as the high tunnels. So anyway, bottom line is give them plenty of sunshine. You notice how these are not spindly. They're not spindly, and that's because I think we're getting them in the high tunnel in the full sun. They get and you got to be careful with the wind, and you don't take them out while it's still freezing out, or you'll kill your plant. You want to take them outside after let it get up to 40 degrees outside, and then transfer them so you don't shock your plants and that type of a thing. But no, that's how we fertilize, folks. This is how we do it right there. This is what, if we haven't talked about it, I'm sorry, but that's how we're doing it. That's how we've been doing it, and the plants look fantastic.